Welcome to my channel. Have you ever wondered what truly influences female desire beyond the surface level assumptions and myths that flood pop culturian statistic often repeated in psychological circles is that nearly 90% of women have a distinct preference when it comes to male anatomy. But it's not what most men think. The psychological landscape of attraction is far deeper and more intricate than just looks or ease. While physical traits do matter to some degree, the mind plays a far greater role in shaping what women find genuinely appealing, despite what media and locker room talk may claim. Most women aren't chasing after exaggerated physical extremes. In fact, research from leading institutions, including studies in evolutionary biology and sexual behavior, consistently shows that women overwhelmingly lean toward a particular kind of male anatomy, not for its size or shock factor, but for the way it reflects overall health, cleanliness, and proportion. It's not about being the biggest, it's about being balanced. A healthy, well-groomed, and symmetrical appearance often triggers subconscious cues in the female brain linked to genetic fitness and emotional safety. Now let's unpack what that really means. When researchers at the University of California surveyed hundreds of women across various age groups and relationship backgrounds, they found something surprising. Most women identified a preference for penises that were around 6 to 6'5" in an erect length, roughly average, combined with a slightly thicker than average girth. But here's the twist: context was everything. Preferences shifted depending on whether a woman was considering a casual encounter or thinking about a potential long-term partner. The psychological setting surrounding intimacy played a critical role in what they found desirable. So what exactly shapes these preferences? On a deeper level, psychology suggests that female sexual attraction is the result of both instinctual drives and social conditioning. From an evolutionary standpoint, women may naturally gravitate toward traits that suggest vitality, cleanliness, and an ability to provide a symmetrical shape. Proper hygiene and proportionality aren't just about appearance, they're subtle indicators of health and wellness. These features communicate reliability and good genetic stock, which our primal brain still registers even in the modern world. But beyond biology, social experiences matter to cultural narratives, especially those shaped by adult entertainment and unrealistic portrayals in film often distort how women view intimacy. These narratives can make women feel like their preferences are abnormal if they don't align with the exaggerated expectations they've seen on screen. However, in honest real-life settings, most women express that emotional connection, trust, and mutual respect dramatically outweigh any physical specifics. In fact, when surveyed about what truly enhances their sexual satisfaction, consistently rank things like emotional attentiveness, cleanliness, communication, and affection far higher than size, and becomes a single piece of a much larger puzzle. One that includes confidence, vulnerability, humor, and the ability to make a woman feel safe and appreciated. In other words, intimacy is holistic. It's not just anatomy. It's presence, energy, and emotional intelligence, a recurring pattern in female psychology is the emphasis on connection. Women tend to value the psychological aspects of sex just as much, if not more, than the physical sensations. This is why communication is often the most underrated component of sexual fulfillment. When a woman feels genuinely listened to, emotionally supported, and safe to express her desires, her physical responses become more relaxed, open, and enthusiastic. That sense of being seen and heard isn't just romantic fluff. It's a biological trigger for pleasure and trust. Let's also address the role of self-perception. Men often believe they need to match some impossible ideal to be attractive. But in truth, confidence rooted in self-respect and emotional steadiness is far more magnetic to women than arbitrary measurements. When a man carries himself with dignity, takes care of his hygiene, and treats intimacy as a shared emotional experience rather than a performance, it sends powerful signals to the female psyche. These signals say, "You're safe here. You're wanted." Not just physically, but emotionally. Interestingly, Studies have shown that many women struggle to openly express what they like. Particularly in traditional or conservative cultures, this silence often leads to mismatched expectations and unsatisfying encounters. That's why open, respectful conversation is essential. It allows both partners to understand one another on an psychological level, which is where real chemistry begins, not with anatomy but with emotional alignment and mutual presenter. Vital factor esteeming. Women's preferences and desires can shift throughout different stages of life, especially due to hormonal changes, emotional experiences and relationship history. What felt good or attractive in known season of life may evolve into something entirely different later. Men who understand this dynamic and remain curious, communicative, and adaptable are theons who tend to form the most satisfying long-term bond. Moreover, the way a man carries himself in other areas of life, his ambition, his kindness, his boundaries all subtly affect how attractive he seems to women. It's the full psychological profile that matters. A healthy man with clear values and a sense of purpose becomes more attractive than someone who merely looks good on the surface. Ethics. The hidden truth about human behavior: physical attraction is just the spark, but psychological alignment is the flame that keeps burning. It is also worth noting that fear, shame, or anxiety around sexual performance can deeply impact male self-esteem. And men internalize myths about size and begin to feel inadequate. This mindset can unintentionally cause them to withdraw emotionally, creating distance in relationships. Ironically, the very thing that could draw a woman closer, vulnerability and openness, is the thing they fear showing. But in many cases, when men share their insecurities in a calm, confident way, women respond with empathy, not judgment. So here's a radical yet grounded truth. Women are about your penis, but not in the way the internet told you. They care that it's clean, healthy, and a reflection of how you take care of yourself. They care that you treat them with respect and that intimacy feels like a mutual dance, not Iona-sided conquest. And they care that you show up fully, not just physically, but emotionally. In the end, psychology teaches us that what women want isn't a mystery. It's just often drowned out by louder, superficial voices. When we peel back those distractions, what remains is simple and powerful connection, presence, care, and a willingness to grow together. Those are the traits that form lasting attraction. Not inches, but intimacy; not width, but wisdom. So if you're listening to this wondering whether you measure up, remember, true attraction begins in the mind and blooms through the heart. Size might start the conversation, but it's your psychological and emotional presence that will keep her listening. And that, more than anything else, is what will blow your mind and hers.